because my last seasonal was the theme that it was, I thought to share from E.A. Wallis Budge, The Egyptian Heaven and Hell. And I'm not going to show too much of the book because obviously Dover Soul. Volume 1 is the book of Dwat, and I presume that's pronounced Dwat. And let's skip over the contents. And there are some errors in the book. Instead of phallus, there's going to be a donkey on page 32. Instead of Han, it's going to be how. Confie. Anyways, the title of the work: The Writings and the Drawings of the Hidden Palace, which appertain to the souls and the gods and the shadows and the spirits, which compose the beginning of the horn of Ament, on the horizon of Ament, the utmost boundary of the thick darkness of the horizon of Amentet, containing the knowledge of the souls of the Dwat, and the knowledge of the secret souls, the knowledge of the doors and the ways through and on which the great God journeyeth, and the knowledge of the hours of their gods, of the knowledge of their journeying, the hours of their gods, and the knowledge of the formula which they say to Ra, and the knowledge of the speeches which he maketh to them, and the knowledge of the gods who praise him, and those who effect destruction. So, Ra can be said to be the devil, and the term God is sort of very ambiguous. And yes, some of these things are worshipped, but not everybody believes that these things are God or gods. But that's how Westerners in particular like to refer to the other cultures, right? Chapter 1, the first division of the Dwat, which is called Netra. In the scene that illustrates the first division of the Dwat, which is passed through by the sun god during the first hour of the night. You know, you can divide the hours 12 per day, 12 per night, no matter how long the night or day is. I like to do that myself. We see that the center of the middle section is divided lengthwise into two parts by a river, which flows along it. In the upper part of the boat, the sun god Yip, so that dot with an A is the Yip, who is in the form of a ram-headed man, wears the disc upon his head and stands with the shrine in the Sektet boat, the boat in which the god travels. There was an Egyptian cult, the Netura Nefre, which kind of saw all the forms as referring to the same god, sort of a monolarity. From noon to sunset, in front of the shrine of the boat stands the three deities, Yip, Wat, Saw. Is it Saw or I think it's Saw. And the lady of the boat, Nebet, who wears on her head a disc and horns, which in a lot of cultures is the Venusian symbolism, or the solar symbolism. Yeah, this solar in the Venusian kind of framing it, right? Behind the shrine stands 5 gods, each having the head of a man. The names of the first 4, Heru Hekanu, Ka Shu, the double of the shoe, Nahas, the lookout, Hu, and the 5th is steersman Kerp. And particularly when we're talking about Hu and Ka Shu, we're talking about things that can refer to a transcendent God, not just a personified God. On the high prow of the Sektet boat hangs an object which is said to be a carpet by some and a reed bat by others, and on the side near the curve of the prow is an achat. In front of the boat march the two goddesses, Ma'at, the one representing the south of Egypt and the other the north, the god Nekent, who holds a spear or knife in his left hand, the god Kente Yementet, bearded and in mummy form, who wears the white crown and the menat, the god Sekhet, as is written here, Sekhmet, yeah, I should wait till I see the glyphs before I pronounce. Sahatchur, the ram-headed, 4 terms of which is called At Metu Ra. The second, At Matu Tam. The third, At Matu Khefra. The fourth, At Matu Yasyar. Yasyar, kind of, remember how that kind of refers to Osiris, or that terminology is referred to Osiris, right? 7, the leader of the company, who is called Tja Annut. By his side is a serpent called Sa, that stands on his tail. And there they are, personified. Remember how the monotheistic prophets were always told, oh, you're making the gods into one, aren't you? Yeah, I think he's making the gods into one. The scene is explained by the horizontal line of the inscription above it and the hieroglyphic text based on the editions of Lefebvre and Champollion reads, the name of this field is Ma'ate, truth. This god arriveth in the Sektet boat. He maketh a way through the court of the city, which is 220 measures in length, which he travelleth through to Ernest. He passeth through the water, which is 300 measures in extent, and he bestoweth the fields upon the gods who follow him. Netra is the name of the field. Yurn Bia is the name of the guardian. The god who I'm going to start trying to say entity instead of God. The entity beginneth to declare in this region the words which perform the destinies of these who are in the Dwat. The lower part of the middle section of the scene, we have another boat, in the center of which is the beetle. On one side of the beetle is an entity with his knees in the direction of the prow of the boat, but having his head turned behind him and his hands raised in adoration of the beetle. And on the other is an entity who has his hands raised in adoration of the same object. The legend reads, Chapam Yivya, the coming into being of Osiris, as the boat has no reed, mat, or carpet hanging from the prow. We may assume that it is intended to represent Adat. Okay, it's Adat. Madat boat, which the boat in which the sun entity traveled over the sky from sunrise to noon. So what do serpents and that sort of thing mean? In the front of the boat glides 3 serpents, which is called Sahakra, Sethe, and Nippon. And in front of these march 4 man-headed beings and 2 hawk-headed beings, each with a serpent in his left hand, and one called Nabte, who holds a crook in each hand. Net or knife, a female entity of the south. Net or knife, a female entity of the north. And the goat, demoness. I want to say demon and demoness sometimes. Yartat, the two hawk-headed entities, which are called Jatoe and Medde, Meddi, two reeds. And the four following: Yabente, Benbete, Sekte, Seket. The explanation of the scene by the horizontal line of hieroglyphic text written above it, which reads: the entity, this court, he passeth through it in the form of a ram, he makes his transformations therein, and after he hath passed through the court, the dead who are in his following do not, but they remain in his court, and he speaketh words unto these entities who are therein. If copies of these things be made according to the ordinances of the hidden house, after the manner of that which is ordered in the hidden house, they shall act as magical protectors to the man who maketh them. In the upper register they are the following: 9 apes, who are described as the entities who open the gates to the great soul. Netrawanea. Okay, their names are Anta, Ba-ta, Ma-en-ra, Yib-ta, Yib-yibben, Yicken-yib, Bunt, Yibba, Chaha, Chaha. 12 demons who are described as demonesses who unfold the portals in the earth. The Turt, Sunush, Shi, Yemetae. Their names are Qat'a, Nabat Makkat, Seksit, Yimut, Yurt. Okay, his alliteration is not quite the same, and there are some variants. And since this is supposed to be unabridged text, it's over 100 years old, so in case you're wondering. But it's Shifta, Brentden. Okay, said that wrong. Hakant Masas Qat Khus Sext Makefut us who eat who want Nibuk Anks and the ape warders and the 12 I'll say demonesses, because when we're referring to male and female things, we're not referring to gods or goddesses. They're demons, demonesses. Each stands with her arms hanging by her sides. It's a sort of a grounding position. And there are some variants to that. 9 seated entities, each with his hands raised in adoration of Ra. They are the demons who praise Ra. The first of these are man-headed and are called Hadra, Hadra, Mai, Hassa, and 3 are jackal-headed, which are called Nubta, Dusher, Dwat, Suxumte, and the third 3 are crocodile-headed and called Trot, Dwat, Sagi, and Sexumhra. 12 beings in the form of women who are described as the demonesses who guide the great god. Their names, Nurturt, Silchai, Teed, Nutr, Ra. Okay, their names are Dunt, Neat, Sabai, Maat Nafuru Nabsat, Chesefet, Smatat, Huai, Makat Yuris, Wort Yimbat, Dwat, Heryub Ya Set, Mesprit, Ushamhat, Xefteos, Shashet, Krcha, Maket, Nebs, Teset, Tesheru, and 9 praisers, and 9 guiders. In the lower register are the following: 9 seated apes, who are described as they who sing to Ra as he entereth into the Dwat. Their names are Yimkar, Chenteshef, Heken Mabuneth, Hechte, Pa Trut. 12 serpents who throw fire from their mouths are described as those who make light. And if we didn't know what it said, we might presume the serpents are spitting there. The darkness in the Dwat, their names are Besit, Hetpet, drawing a blank, Kutmu, Hasuk, Set, Neferka, Mertnesser, Bahunt, Yipshe, Yipish, actually, no E at the end, Nesert, Yipyesit, Schneet. And you see that? These are fire beings, so we're talking about jinn. Nine man-headed beings with their hands raised in adoration who are described as entities who praise the Lord and company of the so-called gods. Their names, oh, okay, Run, making mention, Nub, all, nature, and multiplicity, so divinity. Dwat, so they make supplication, some sort of blank. Nabut, and the sitting. So, anyways, you have God Dwat, Hatam Yub, Yore, Ya'a, Hum, Ka Nitru. There's a penis in there, so that must have some mention other than well, I guess the soul that goes out. Maybe it refers, so there's a dual function. Dwate, Hakanu, Ra, Aha, Gitter. And there's some variants. 12 demonesses with their arms hanging by their sides are described as those who give praises to Ra as he passes over Uranus and the gift-giving Hanu, Rana, Ra, Ap, Wur, Wurn, Wurnush. Okay, so it would be WRRNSSH would be the actual spelling of Urness. Their names are Ma'an, Nachurs, Yurt, Nachurs, Hekunt, Nt, Ypertre, Nabathet, Hre, Sne, Tufnut, Tuf, Newt, Tufnut, okay. Natat, Yimut, Yust, like under Osiris, right? The address which the sun entity makes to those in the first direction reads, and I'm going to skip over the hieroglyphs for you, but I'm going to look at them, maybe get some ideas, and I'm going to generally do that with what's happening in this book. It's great that he has the original in here. Too many people like Zechariah Sitchin and all these other people later have decided, oh, let's exclude the original of the text. And it's like, I want to not only verify the translation, but I want to learn how to say it for spiritual and, intellectual purposes and stuff. But they interfere. Or they're too lazy to put it in. I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, the majesty of this entity standeth up after he have taken up his position in the court, and he addresseth the words to those entities which are therein, saying, Open ye to me your doors, and let me come into your courts. Give light unto me, and make yourself guides to me. O you who come into being from my members, my word hath gone forth to you. Ye are made of my bodies. I have made you, having fashioned you of my soul. I have created you. I have made you by means of my enchantments. Iblis, maybe? I have come to avenge myself. The blood of my members which have risen up against me, I will bring to destruction, which hath been made for it. I will make perfect with of my forms, Osiris, Kenti, Yimte. Open to me the doors with your hands, O you apes. Unfold to me the portals of the corpse, O you apes, and welcome the entities who have come into being from my divine souls. Come ye into being. Come ye into being for Khetfra. O ye who have your being in the head of the Dwat, stand up in I think I pronounced that wrong, but anyways. You got to have the and then and establish yourself on the secret banks thereof, and work ye for the entities, the Dwat, in your court which ye guard. Possess ye your plans, in your seats, in your dominions, and in your fields. The entities of this court say unto Ra, O great God, are open to thee, and the portals of the secret Tempt are thrown open before thee. The doors of Nut the great are thrown wide open. Illuminate thou the darkness of night, our thick darkness. Provide for that which is in the place of destruction, and approach thou in the name of Ra, the place where is Osiris Kente Yemte. There is a shout of joy to Ra at the entrance of the doors of the earth. Praise be to thee. Make thou perfect the light, and enter thou through the habitations of the great country. The apes open the doors to thee. The apes unfold to thee portals. The serpents sing and exalt thee. The so-called divine serpents lighten thy darkness for thee. O Ra, the demoness of the hour come to thee. The two-souled demonesses tow thee along in thy form, and thou takest up thy position in the ground of the field of this land, and thou hast taken possession of the night, and thou wilt bring in the day, and dost likewise make the hours of the boat come to rest. Thou seizest the grain of the entity Hunbet in thou secret place Net. Thou openest Netra. Thou uncoverest Ba, the Uranus demoness Netrit of Wurnus. Acclaim thee. The Uranus demoness Nahanuit. Ascribe praise to thee. Thy word is Ma'at against thine enemies. Thou givest tribulations to those who are condemned. The majesty of this entity uttereth words. After he hath cometh into this court, he doeth battle at the fortifications thereof. The doers of this court are strong, saying, Shut by your bolts, come ye to me, advance ye to me, and make your way, and ye shall abide in your place, and take up your stand in the banks of the stream. This great entity passeth them by, and they wail when he hath gone by them. In the field of the hour who guideth through this court is Yeshem Hat Kafat Nu Ra. And is there any further things that I should say other than prepare yourself for the second division of the Dwat called Wilderness with 11 illustrations, which I may or may not show. You have the third division called Ned Wa Chepa Uat, 13 illustrations. The fourth division, fifth division. Okay. So you have 12 divisions. And that is what I'm going to say there. But there's supposed to be 3 books in here. So and Sharma, peace be upon you.